So our next topic is types of farming. Farming is practiced in various ways across the world depending upon, so there are various kind of factors like the geographical condition of the area, that climate and soil, demand of the product, what kind of products demand is there, availability of the labor, that if there have the availability of labor or not, level of technology, what kind of technology they use, and based on these factors farming can be broadly classified in three categories. We can divide the farming technique into three categories: the subsistence farming, commercial farming, and organic farming. Types of agriculture practice: subsistence farming, commercial farming, and organic farming. And there are also some sub classification, that primitive, shifting. Commercial farming, it will be four types: extensive, intensive, plantation, mixed. So first one is subsistence farming. What is subsistence farming? The aim of subsistence farming is to cultivate crops for consumption by the farmer and his family. So the aim of subsistence farming is to cultivate crops for the consumption. Consumption is the main motive, and the farmer has a small piece of land on which he and his family works, and they have very less amount of land. Any surplus crop could be exchanged for goods or stored for future use in times of poor harvest. So any surplus crop, if they are situated or arise, that they will store them for the future, but it is not related with the sale. They actually not sell their products into the market. They made their crops for themselves. And subsistence farming is of two types. It will be two types. One is primitive farming and another is shifting farming. What is primitive farming? That this type of farming is found in some parts of the equatorial and tropical forest, where people use simple tools or implements and produce food for their own immediate needs. They are called as primitive farming. Okay, so they made their crops for their needs. Okay, next is shifting cultivation, the another type of subsistence farming, that is also called as slash and burn or chuming. The history of shifting cultivation is as old as the history of agriculture, so it is very old types of cultivation. And shifting cultivation is a primitive form of soil utilization, and it is practiced usually in the tropical rainforest. So where have the forest region, what they do, they cut the trees and they made the land for the agriculture. In shifting cultivation, a patch of ground is cleared, and very often with fire. They at first cut down the trees and they fired it, and hence this type of cultivation is called a slash and burn technique. And the ground is cultivated for a few years until the soil is exhausted, and the cultivators keep on shifting from one part to another where they clear new patches of ground. So in this way they always change their lands for the agriculture after 2 or 3 years. Following are the main characteristics of shifting cultivation. The characteristics are that a plot of land is cleared by felling the trees and burning them. This is the technique, that they cut down and they burned it, and the ashes are then mixed with the soil, and crops like maize, yam, potato and crevice are grown. And after the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and cultivator moves to a new plot, because after 2-3 years the fertility is actually reduced of this place, and in that time what they do, they choose the another land for the agriculture. Shifting cultivation is also known as slash and burn agriculture, and shifting cultivation usually starts with cutting trees and fire, which clears a spot of crop production. And in this case, shifting cultivation is a cycle where farmers come back to the original place after a couple of years, and again they cultivate in the previous one after some years. And it is practiced in the thickly forested areas of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, part of Southeast Asia and Northeast India. So there have the popularity of this slash and burn technique or the shifting cultivation. And these regions receive heavy rainfall, and this helps in the quick regeneration of vegetation. Next is commercial farming. In this type of farming, The farmer produces crop for sale, usually for the world markets, and commercial farming may be extensive or intensive. So commercial farming basically they want to sell them for the improve of their economic status. So commercially they cultivate the land. So one is extensive commercial farming, that it implies employment of greater area of land in proportion to capital and labor, and land may be left fallow for a year or two to enable it to regain its fertility, and the method may be somewhat waterful and the yield per hectare may be less. So in this kinds of lands the production will be less because these are not so fertile in nature, and usually there are paucity of labor but land is in plenty. So they have huge amount of land but they have the less amount of labor. The paucity of labor is overcome by the use of various type of machines. So they have paucity means scarcity, that they have a scarcity of labor, but it will be done with the help of machines because they use various kind of machines that with some labors they can do these huge activities. The commercial grain farming in the United States, Canada, Argentina and Australia were example of extensive commercial farming. Following are the main characteristics of extensive agriculture: that it is highly mechanized. This is that various kind of machines are used, that's what it is very high mechanized, and the size of holding is large and ranging from 240 to 16,000 hectares, and it employs little labor, and they employs less amount of labor compared to the land amount or land size. The per hectare yield is low because they use more land but the production is very less, and it is practiced in the sparsely populated areas where have the less amount of people or the land is open for the cultivation. Basically in these kinds of places this extensive cultivation is extensive commercial farming is done. And monoculture of wheat is the dominant cropping pattern, and monoculture means that one cultivation in a year of wheat, it is dominant cropping pattern of these kinds of extensive commercial farming. And there will be crops of like barley, oat, rye, flax, oilseeds, these things. Next is intensive commercial farming. That intensive commercial farming is practiced where farmland is of high value and population pressure reduces the size of individual holdings, as is the case in the delta region of the great rivers of Asia, and in other places such as the irrigated areas in Egypt and in California, or reclaimed areas like Denmark and Netherlands, land is available for cultivation only with great expense and energy, and much are capital, labor or skill. So compared to the extensive commercial farming, in intensive commercial farming they use lots of money, lots of labor for the high amount of cultivation or high amount of production. This type of farming has therefore developed mainly in the densely populated countries, and in these places only the amount is less, that the area is less, but they use high yielding variety seeds, they use various kind of new technique, they use the huge amount of labors. Okay, and the main characteristics of this intensive subsistence agriculture are the small size of holding, so the land is small, scattered field, so scatteredly they are placed, and use of draught animals, they use various kind of animals, use of domestic laborers and dominance of cereal crops. Basically they cultivate the cereal crops. Next is plantation farming. It means producing planted trees or bushes which give yields over a period of years. This type of farm organization has developed within the tropic and subtropic, and it was developed in the early days of colonization when the industrial nations of Western Europe wanted tropical and subtropical product for their manufacture. The British initiated tea garden in India and Sri Lanka and rubber estates in Malaysia. These are that cultivation of or plantation of rubber, or it is popular in Malaysia. The French established cocoa and coffee plantation in Cameroon. So somewhere the coffee and cocoa plantation activity is done. And the Spaniard and Americans set up coconut and abaca, Manila hemp and sugar plantation in Java. So these are there have a selected places where these kinds of plantation agriculture is done, and plantations vary from area to area and with different crops, and but their general characteristics are similar. So their characteristics are similar but they are varied, and it involves clearing of forest, preparing ground, laying roads, power supplies, houses, schools, hospitals and other amenities for the workers, etc. And it requires efficient and scientific methods of cultivation. A special type of implementation, skilled but relatively cheap local labor and worldwide marketing facilities, and a plantation is thus a large unit product producing a single crop. So here the variety is not there, only one crop is there, but the amount of production is very high.